Anybody see any hobgoblins lately? Impending doom? Promised? What? Promises we stand on? The promise I stand on, first of all, is that it is good. I'm going to try to figure it out that way so it looks good. Ooh, something's coming, something's out there, you know? And it's like, well, yeah. You know, isn't that what so many of us were hoping for? The second coming? I just posted a poem that I call Red State, Blue State, and the red and the blue, these two forces of nature, when God created the earth, and there was the water, and it said then his spirit moved upon the water. And the spirit is the word. The spirit is what happened, what reaction God had in creation with the water. And it was all natural. And that's where nature came from. God's spirit moving upon the water, upon the fire, upon the combination of two, upon the whole thing that our whole existence is founded upon. Said there's three that bear witness in heaven. The Father, the Son, and the Spirit. There's three that bear witness on earth: the water, the blood, and the Spirit. Now Jesus, when he was born, it was proved that he was the Son of Man, because it says that he was born of water and blood, not just water. And now we have this dynamic going on in our bodies. Call it heart, mind, and soul. And I see the mind and the brain is mostly water. That's a fact. And then mostly cholesterol. That's what the brain is. Mostly water, and then most of the rest of it is cholesterol. It's not blood. And, you know, the brain is brilliant. Now the heart, the heart's like all blood, man. I mean, the thing, it's like made out of blood and pumping the blood or moving the blood or doing whatever it does with the blood. And we have this sensitive part of each other where we feel each other's pain, we relate to other people's experiences, all that stuff. That's like the heart stuff. And the mental stuff, that's this other abilities that we have. And then our spirit, I would say that is like the passion that develops, this thing that grows. It is like a plant in that it matures and bears fruit and all that stuff. And I could say so much stuff. I'm trying to keep it simple. But to complicate it some more, I look at the statement that he was born of water and blood, not just water, which it says, not just water, in the King James. And who are those that are born of just water? Who are those? Are there, I think that there were. That was the sons of God who took daughters of men. In the fall, those that had fallen. And they weren't made the same as us. They had the brain, but they didn't have the heart. They had the mind, and they had the program. They had the truth. That's all they really knew was the truth. I don't think they even became corrupted until they started messing around with mankind. And, we think that they corrupted us. We probably actually corrupted them a lot more. And the corruption we did to ourselves was beyond their control even. Once we're on a roll, human beings are able to do tremendous things, good or evil. And but yeah, that's something too, where I wonder if God wasn't showing the promise through even Jacob and Esau as being symbolic of this ordeal we have with those born of water and those born of water and blood. And we're the mortals, we're the ones whose blood spills. And that too is why the required sacrifice, because now that the corruption had taken over, or was there and corrupting, that that corruption meant that we were going to die because of our ignorance, because of our covetousness, because of whatever reasons that were going to come along throughout the whole thing. It meant that we were going to miss out on the truth, and we're going to go through this world thinking we're seeking life and actually seeking and finding death in a way. And that death was going to be this horrible human sacrifice that was going to happen because of sin entering into the world. And that I see Jesus coming and joining in with us in that sacrifice that we and our ancestors and people have suffered. That was an act of the Father sending His Son, who was willing to be obedient, and therefore the Father willing to listen to the Son, because the Son said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." And really end up making it all possible for us to go through exactly what we are going through without there being a hopeless outcome. So I don't buy into this rapture thing where the world is handed over to the Antichrist. The only thing that needs to be done is they lose the world that they've had all along. They can't gain the world. How are they going to gain the world? They had the world. The only thing they can do is just put it in our face more, stick it out in the open, which is exactly what we see kind of going on in these efforts being made. And trying to hope that people are willing to go along with it and maybe get another chance to knock us off or whatever. But it's over for them. And people are seeing it more every day, and there's been a lot of things going on behind the scenes that I love to hear about someday. I just know they're happening. I don't know what. But I know myself, so I expect the same out of a lot of other fellow human beings. Why should I think I'm any more heroic or better or anything than they are? I don't. And that was part of my rock and my foundation I trusted in too, was those people that were also on that same foundation. And that was to live righteously. No, they might have been caught up in things that weren't clear, and even, people had to go along with things that they themselves would have did it differently if they had the chance. And they had to go along with it, and they did. But I think I made a pretty good connection there with the water and the blood. And and it's interesting too. I mean, these dimensions that unfold, because you can see even with the blood that now the blood without oxygen ends up being blue. Okay, and then it's like back to the brain, but what's oxygen represent to us? In a way, it's spirit, because spirit is breath, and we're breathing oxygen. We make our words out of the air we're breathing. And it's all really amazing. I could go on, but I'm just trying to be provocative as usual and give people things to think about and look at in their own ways. So thanks for watching if you get to. See ya.